3 financial stages in your life and what you must do at every stage. Money is a common denominator that runs through everybody's life. Whether you're a child, whether you are an adult, whether you are young, whether you're a student, whether you're employed or whether you are unemployed, money runs through your life. However, how you manage your finances in your 20s cannot be the same as how you manage your finances when you are in your 60s. You cannot be in your 70s and manage your finances like you are in your 20s. One of the events I like so much during the Olympic Games is the 100-meter race and then the 4x100 meter race. It's so amazing to see how within 10 seconds somebody would want to finish a race. But there's something that I've noticed about these 2 races, and it's about how they start the race. How they start a 100-meter race is different from how they start a marathon. With a 100-meter race, they kind of kneel down a bit, and then when they hear the gunshot, they all move forward. With a marathon, they don't start the same way as they do when they are going for a 100-meter race. With a marathon, they stand a bit, and then when they hear the gunshot, they also move. You cannot start a marathon like you are running a 100-meter race. And you cannot also start a 100-meter race like you are running a marathon. The same applies to your financial life. You cannot be in your 60s and manage your finances like you are in your 20s. So what must you do? Whether you are in your 20s or 30s or 50s or 60s, how should you manage your financial life? And there are 3 stages. Stage number 1. Number 1 is when you are in your 20s and 30s. And when you are in your 20s and 30s, you are running a marathon because you have several years ahead of you. In your 20s and 30s, either you are married or you are about to get married, whether you are in school or you are about to finish school, or you are about to start a young family. This is the category of people in stage 1. So what must you do? How should you manage your finances when you are in stage 1? And this is what you must do. In stage 1, you must learn an income skill. A skill that when you deploy, other people will pay you for deploying that particular skill. I am not talking about certificate, but I'm talking about learning a skill. I'm not asking you to go for your first degree. I'm not asking you to go and do your master's. I'm only asking you to develop an income skill. Again, it's not just any skill, but in your 20s and in your 30s, you must develop an income skill. A skill that when you deploy, a skill that when you use it to solve other people's problem, they are just going to put their hands into their pocket and they are going to pay you. That must be your focus in stage 1. Develop an income skill. If you don't have one, it's not late. This is the time to develop an income skill, because this skill is going to help you in your 40s and in your 60s and even in your 70s. So that is stage number 1. Develop an income skill. Stage number 2 is when you are in your 40s and 50s. In your 40s and 50s, you are running an 800-meter race. This is a track event. 800-meter race. In your 40s and 50s, it's likely you have a young family, your responsibilities within the family has increased. And it's also most likely that you belong to what we call the sandwich generation. What it means is this. In your 40s and 50s, it's most likely that your parents are alive. And so at that point, their burden is your burden. Within that stage, it's also most likely that you have your own children. So you are in the sandwich generation, because at the end of the month, when you make an inflow, you must cater for your children, and you must also cater for your aged parents. So in your 40s and 50s, you are most likely to be part of this generation. Again, within our African setting, in your 40s and 50s, you are a very important member of the family. And so for any social events, you are called upon to attend. So what must be your strategy as far as your finances are concerned? Remember, you are running an 800-meter race. So this is what you must do in your 40s and in your 50s. You must develop multiple streams of income, or you must create assets. Assets are things that will bring you money. Multiple streams of income. In your 40s and 50s, you must not depend on a single source of income. That can be very deadly. Your lifestyle in your 40s and 50s should be monthly you are being paid. And then there are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 other things which are also bringing you money. This must be your strategy in your 40s and in your 50s. That is stage number 2. Stage number 3 is in your 60s and then 70s. In your 60s and 70s, you are running a 100-meter race. In your 60s and 70s, it's most likely that your children are grown, they have left the house, or some are still staying with you. So how must you manage your finances when you are in your 60s and 70s? Remember, you cannot be in your 60s and still manage your finances as if you are in your 20s or you are in your 30s. And so what must you do in your 60s and 70s as far as your finances are concerned? And this is what you must do. Invest wisely. Remember, you are in your 60s and 70s. There's no room for mistake. The little mistake you make, it can destroy your financial life. And so in your 60s and 70s, your financial strategy should be that invest wisely, because every investment that you make is going to have a very huge impact on your life. Stage 1, you are in your 20s and 30s. Develop an income skill. Stage 2, you are in your 40s and 50s. Develop multiple streams of income. And then stage 3, you are in your 60s and 70s. Invest wisely.